discovery and disbelief. The vast emptiness of space stretched before the Galactic Council's survey vessel, the Stellar Seeker. Its mission was routine: chart unexplored sectors, catalog stellar phenomena, and report anything unusual. Captain Zerolax, a veteran Andorian with scales that shimmered like polished sapphires, never expected this particular shift to be anything but ordinary. "Captain, you need to see this." The urgency in Science Officer Krell's voice made Zerolax's antennae twitch. "What is it, Krell?" she asked, gliding across the bridge to the sensor station. Krell, a Valerian with multifaceted eyes and spindly limbs, gestured to his display with a trembling appendage. "I've never seen anything like it. The energy readings are off the charts." Zerolax leaned in, her eyes widening as she processed the data. The sensors had detected a colossal structure hidden within the gravitational shadow of a red dwarf star. Its size defied comprehension, easily dwarfing anything the Council races had ever constructed. "Magnify," she ordered, her voice barely above a whisper. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a skeletal framework that seemed to envelop the entire star. Arcs of energy pulsed along its length, and at its core, a sphere of impossible brightness pulsed with barely contained power. "By the cosmic egg," Zerolax breathed. "What is that thing?" Krell's fingers danced across his console. "Preliminary analysis suggests it's artificial, Captain, some kind of megastructure, but its composition and energy signature don't match anything in our database." Zerolax felt a chill run down her spine. In all her years of service, she'd never encountered anything remotely like this. Could it be the work of an unknown species? "Possible, but unlikely," Krell replied. "The level of technology required to build something on this scale, it's beyond even our most advanced theoretical models." The captain's mind raced. Protocol demanded they report this discovery immediately, but the implications were staggering. A structure of this magnitude could shift the balance of power in the galaxy overnight. "Send an encrypted burst transmission to Galactic Council headquarters," she ordered. "Priority Alpha. We need a full task force out here yesterday." As the message was sent, Zerolax couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something monumental. Little did she know just how right she was. Grand Councillor Faxara paced a circular chamber, his tentacles writhing with agitation. The holographic display at the center of the room showed a three-dimensional representation of the megastructure, slowly rotating as the gathered representatives of 100 spacefaring races murmured in a cacophony of languages. Silence. Faxara boomed, his voice amplified by the chamber's acoustics. The room fell quiet, all eyes turning to the ancient cephalon. "We face an unprecedented situation. This megastructure represents a level of technological advancement far beyond anything our civilizations have achieved. We must determine its origin and purpose immediately." A synthoid representative, its metallic body gleaming under the chamber's lights, spoke up. "Our analysis of the energy patterns suggests the structure is harnessing the entire output of the star. The potential applications of such technology are concerning." "Concerning?" scoffed Grohl, the assigned delegate. "It's a weapon, plain and simple. Whoever built this thing could wipe out entire star systems with the push of a button." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber, but Faxara raised a tentacle for silence. "We mustn't jump to conclusions. Our priority should be to make contact with the builders and understand their intentions." "And if those intentions are hostile," Grohl growled. Before Faxara could respond, the chamber's doors slid open with a hiss. A junior aide rushed in, his scales flushed with exertion. "Grand Councillor, we've received a transmission from the investigation team." The holographic display flickered, replaced by the image of a harried-looking Thalorian commander. "Council, we've made contact with representatives from the megastructure. You're not going to believe this, but they're human." A collective gasp echoed through the chamber, followed by stunned silence. Vaxara felt his heart skip a beat. "Human? That's impossible. The humans are a primitive species, barely able to leave their own solar system. The Felorian shook his head. Not anymore, sir. They claim to have been advancing in secret for centuries, and the evidence, well, it's hard to argue with a Dyson sphere. As the implications sank in, chaos erupted in the council chamber. Delegates shouted over one another, some calling for immediate military action, others advocating for cautious diplomacy. Through it all, Vaxara stood motionless, his mind reeling. The humans, a species many in the galaxy had dismissed as insignificant, had built something that defied the laws of physics as the Council understood them, and they had done it right under everyone's noses. Order. Vaxara finally bellowed, his voice cutting through the din. We need more information. Commander, arrange a formal meeting with the human representatives. We need to understand how this happened and what it means for the balance of power in the galaxy. As the transmission ended and the council members continued their heated debate, Vaxara couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. The galaxy as they knew it had changed forever, and the humans, a species they had underestimated for so long, now held the key to its future. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the cosmic order. As news of the human megastructure spread like wildfire across the galaxy, one question burned in every mind. What would happen next? First contact and tension. The Galactic Council's diplomatic vessel, the Concordia, hung in space, dwarfed by the colossal human megastructure. On the bridge, Ambassador Lyrella Vex, a luminary known for her cool head and sharp diplomatic skills, fought to maintain her composure. The sheer scale of the construct before them defied belief. We're receiving a transmission from the human delegation, announced the communications officer, his antennae twitching nervously. Lyrella nodded, on screen. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a human face. The man appeared to be in his mid-40s by human standards, with graying hair and piercing blue eyes that seemed to look right through Lyrella. Greetings, Ambassador Vex. I am Admiral Thomas Chen of the United Earth Alliance. We welcome you to Solaris Station. Lyrella inclined her head slightly. Admiral Chen, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I thank you for agreeing to this meeting. We have many questions. A hint of a smile played at the corners of Chen's mouth. I'm sure you do, Ambassador. If you'll follow the transmitted coordinates, we'll dock your ship and begin our discussions. As the Concordia maneuvered towards the massive docking bay, Lyrella couldn't shake a sense of unease. The humans had kept this a secret for centuries. What else were they hiding? The meeting chamber aboard Solaris Station was a marvel of engineering and aesthetics. Transparent aluminum walls offered a breathtaking view of the Dyson sphere's inner workings, while gravity plating allowed the diverse delegation to move comfortably despite the station's rotation. Admiral Chen sat at the head of the long table, flanked by a team of human scientists and diplomats. Across from them, Lyrella and her team tried not to gawk at their surroundings. Let's address the elephant in the room, Chen began, his voice steady. Yes, humanity has advanced far beyond what the Galactic Council believed possible. We've been working on the Solaris project for over 3 centuries. Lyrella leaned forward. How? The last official contact with Earth showed a civilization barely capable of interplanetary travel. A woman to Chen's left, introduced as Dr. Samantha Reeves, spoke up. That was by design, Ambassador. After the Proxime incident, humanity realized we weren't ready for galactic politics. We needed time to develop on our own terms. The Proxime incident. Lyrella had read about it in the historical archives. A first contact scenario gone horribly wrong, resulting in the destruction of Earth's first extrasolar colony. The official records stated that humanity had withdrawn from galactic affairs in shame and fear. So you deceived us, growled Grawl, the Ursine representative. Pretended to be weak while building this. He gestured at the view outside. Chen's eyes hardened. We protected ourselves, Counselor. The galaxy had proven hostile to our interests. We chose isolation and focused on advancing our technology, our understanding of the universe. Lyrella interjected before Grohl could escalate the situation. Admiral, surely you understand our concern. A Dyson sphere represents an enormous strategic advantage. The energy output alone could power our fleets, fuel superweapons. Chen finished for her. That's not our intention, Ambassador. Solaris Station is a research facility dedicated to pushing the boundaries of science. We've made breakthroughs in energy production, faster than light travel, even the manipulation of space-time itself. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just caught up to the galactic community, they had surpassed it in many ways. Dr. Rees continued, her voice filled with pride. We're on the verge of solving problems that have plagued sentient life for millennia. Clean, limitless energy, faster-than-light communication, even the ability to terraform barren worlds in a matter of years rather than centuries. And you're willing to share this technology? Lyrella asked, hardly daring to hope. Chen nodded slowly. That's why we've revealed ourselves now. We believe it's time for humanity to rejoin the galactic community, but on equal footing, as partners rather than subjects. Grohl slammed a paw on the table. Equal footing. You've been lying to us for centuries. How can we trust anything you say? The tension in the room was palpable. Lyrella could see the human delegation bristling at Grohl's accusation, while her own team seemed split between awe and suspicion. Trust must be earned on both sides, Shen replied calmly. We're prepared to share our advancements gradually, under mutually agreed-upon terms. In exchange, we ask for a seat on the Galactic Council and assurances that our sovereignty will be respected. Lyrella's mind raced. The potential benefits of human technology were immense, but so were the risks. If this alliance worked, it could usher in a new golden age for the galaxy. If it failed, we'll need time to consult with the full council, Lyrella said carefully. This is a decision that will affect every sentient being in the galaxy. Chen nodded. Of course. We've waited centuries. We can wait a little longer. But know this, Ambassador. Humanity is ready to take its place among the stars. One way or another, the galaxy is about to change. As the meeting adjourned, Lyrella caught glimpses of barely contained excitement among some of her team members. Others, like Grohl, radiated suspicion and hostility. She knew that similar debates would soon be raging across every world in the Galactic Council. The humans had thrown a cosmic curveball, and now the entire galaxy had to decide how to react. As Lyrella prepared her report for the Council, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing at a crossroads of history. The choices made in the coming days would echo across the cosmos for generations to come. Little did anyone know, forces were already in motion that would test this fragile first contact to its very limits. The true nature of Solaris Station and humanity's intentions were about to be put under a spotlight that neither side might be prepared for. Unveiling the megastructure. The Galactic Council chamber was in an uproar. Holograms flickered as representatives from 100 worlds argued, their voices rising in a cacophony of different languages. At the center of it all stood Admiral Thomas Chen, his face impassive as he weathered the storm of questions, accusations, and expressions of awe. Silence. Grand Counselor, Baxara's voice boomed, his tentacles writhing with agitation. The chamber gradually quieted, all eyes turning to the ancient Cephalon. Admiral Chen, you claim that this Solaris Station is purely for research purposes. Yet its energy output alone makes it the most potent strategic asset in the known galaxy. How can we be certain of your peaceful intentions? Chen nodded, having expected this line of questioning. With a gesture, he activated a holographic display in the center of the chamber. The image of Solaris Station appeared, slowly rotating. Counselors, what you see before you is indeed a power source of unprecedented scale, but it's also so much more. Chen's voice was steady, confident. Solaris Station is the culmination of centuries of human ingenuity and determination. It's not a weapon, it's a key to unlocking the fundamental secrets of the universe. The hologram zoomed in, showing intricate details of the station's structure. Dr. Samantha Reeves stepped forward, her eyes alight with the passion of a true scientist. The Dyson sphere is only the most visible part of Solaris Station, she explained. At its core, we've created a controlled environment where we can study and manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the chamber. Thaxara leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. Manipulate space-time? That's impossible. Reeves finished with a smile. Not anymore. We've made breakthroughs that redefine our understanding of physics. Faster than light travel without the limitations of traditional hyperdrive. Instantaneous communication across vast distances. Even the ability to create stable wormholes. The chamber erupted again, this time with a mix of excitement and disbelief. Chen raised a hand, calling for quiet. "We understand your concerns," he said, his gaze sweeping the room. "Such power in the wrong hands could be devastating. That's why we're proposing a joint scientific initiative. We'll share our discoveries gradually, working together to ensure this knowledge is used for the benefit of all sentient life." Ambassador Lyrella Vex, who had been watching the proceedings carefully, spoke up. "Admiral, while the potential benefits are clear, you must understand our hesitation. Humanity hid this project for centuries. How can we be sure you're not concealing other secrets? Other stations like this one?" Chen's expression grew serious. "Ambassador, I'll be blunt. Solaris Station is our crowning achievement, but it's not our only advancement. We have other facilities, other technologies that we've developed. But I give you my word, none of them are weapons of mass destruction. Our goal has always been to push the boundaries of science, not to dominate the galaxy." Grohl, the Ursine representative, growled skeptically. "Pretty words, human, but actions speak louder. If you truly wish to prove your peaceful intentions, open Solaris Station to a full inspection by Council scientists." A tense silence fell over the chamber as all eyes turned to Chen. The Admiral exchanged glances with Dr. Reeves before nodding slowly. "We're prepared to allow a limited inspection team under certain conditions," Chen said. "But in return, we want assurances. Humanity will not be treated as a subject race. We come to the galactic community as equals, ready to share our knowledge, but also to protect our sovereignty." Thaxara's tentacles writhed as he considered the proposal. "This is unprecedented, Admiral. The Council will need time to deliberate and set the terms for such an inspection." "Of course," Chen replied, "but don't take too long. The discoveries we're making at Solaris Station are advancing our understanding daily. The sooner we can begin collaboration, the better it will be for everyone." As the Council session adjourned, the chamber buzzed with excited and worried conversations. Representatives huddled in groups, debating the implications of human technology and the shift in the balance of power it represented. Lyrella approached Chen as he prepared to leave. "Admiral, a moment, please." Chen turned, raising an eyebrow. "Ambassador." "I can't help but feel there's more to this story," Lyrella said quietly. "Something you're not telling us." A shadow seemed to pass over Chen's face, so quickly Lyrella almost thought she'd imagined it. "There's always more to the story, Ambassador. But I've been as honest as I can be, given the circumstances." Before Lyrella could press further, Dr. Reeves approached urgently. "Admiral, we've just received a priority message from Solaris Station. There's been an incident." Chen's eyes widened slightly, the only sign of his alarm. He nodded to Lyrella. "If you'll excuse me, Ambassador, it seems duty calls." As Chen and Reeves hurried away, Lyrella couldn't shake the feeling that the other shoe was about to drop. The unveiling of Solaris Station had answered some questions, but it had raised even more. Across the galaxy, news of the human megastructure and its capabilities spread like wildfire. Some worlds celebrated the potential for a new age of scientific discovery and prosperity. Others began to quietly bolster their defenses, fearing that humanity's rise might herald a new era of conflict. And deep within Solaris Station, Alarms blared as scientists scrambled to contain an experiment gone awry. The true test of humanity's mastery of the forces they had unleashed was about to begin, with consequences that would ripple across the cosmos. The stage was set for a crisis that would either forge a new era of cooperation or plunge the galaxy into chaos. And at the center of it all stood humanity, poised between triumph and disaster, their greatest achievement teetering on the brink of becoming their greatest threat. Rising conflict. The emergency alarms echoed through the vast corridors of Solaris Station, their urgent wail a stark contrast to the usual hum of scientific activity. Dr. Elena Vasquez, lead researcher on the station's quantum entanglement team, raced towards the central control room, her heart pounding in her chest. As she burst through the doors, she was met with a scene of controlled chaos. Holographic displays flickered with cascading data streams, while her colleagues worked feverishly at their stations. "Status report," she demanded, making her way to the main console. Dr. Amit Patel, his usually calm demeanor shaken, looked up from his screens. "It's the wormhole experiment, Elena. The containment field is destabilizing. We're detecting massive gravitational fluctuations." Elena's blood ran cold. They had been pushing the boundaries of their research, attempting to create a stable, traversable wormhole. But if the containment field failed, "Initiate emergency shutdown protocols," she ordered, her fingers flying across the haptic interface. "Divert all available power to the quantum stabilizers." As the station's immense energy reserves poured into the containment systems, Elena couldn't help but think of the delegation from the Galactic Council. They were due to arrive for their inspection in less than 48 hours, if they couldn't get this situation under control. Meanwhile, light years away, the Galactic Council was in emergency session. The chamber crackled with tension as representatives argued vehemently about how to proceed with the human situation. Ambassador Lyrella Vex stood at the center, her luminous form pulsing with stress. "Councillors, please, we must approach this rationally. The humans have offered unprecedented access to their technology. This could herald a new age of progress for all our peoples." Grohl, the assigned representative, growled in dissent. "Or it could be the prelude to our enslavement. How do we know this Solaris station isn't a doomsday weapon in disguise?" Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Vaxar's tentacles writhed as he called for order. "We cannot jump to conclusions. The inspection team." He was interrupted by an urgent communique. The holographic display at the center of the chamber flickered to life, showing a harried-looking Thalorian officer. "Council, we've detected a massive gravimetric disturbance in the vicinity of Solaris Station. Energy readings are off the charts. Whatever the humans are doing in there, it's causing ripples across subspace." The chamber erupted into pandemonium. Accusations flew as fear and anger boiled over. "They've activated their weapon. It was a trap all along. We must strike now, before it's too late." Lorella's voice cut through the chaos. "We don't know that. This could be an accident, an experiment gone wrong. We need more information before we take any drastic action." Vaxara nodded gravely. "Ambassador Vex is right. We cannot risk open conflict based on speculation." However, his gaze swept the room. "We must also be prepared for the worst. I propose we mobilize the combined fleet, but hold them at a safe distance. Meanwhile, we'll demand immediate answers from the human leadership." The motion passed, but the tension in the chamber remained palpable. As representatives hurried to contact their homeworlds, Lyrella couldn't shake a sense of impending doom. Everything hinged on the next few hours. Back on Earth, Admiral Thomas Chen stood in the war room of the United Earth Alliance headquarters, his face grim as he absorbed the flood of incoming reports. "Sir," his aide said urgently, "we're detecting massive fleet movements across Council space. It looks like they're mobilizing for war." Chen's jaw clenched. This was exactly the scenario they had hoped to avoid. Centuries of isolation and secrecy, all hanging by a thread because of one mishap. "What's the status of Solaris Station?" he demanded. The aide consulted her datapad. "Still critical, sir. Dr. Vasquez and her team are working to contain the gravimetric disturbances, but it's not looking good." Chen nodded, his mind racing through options. They couldn't risk the station falling into Council hands, not with the sensitive research it contained, but neither could they allow it to be destroyed. The potential for disaster was too great. "Initiate Protocol Omega," he said finally, his voice heavy. "And get me a direct line to Grand Counselor Thaxara. It's time we laid all our cards on the table." As the war room burst into activity, Chen steeled himself for what was to come. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of humanity, but potentially the entire galaxy. On Solaris Station, Elena Vasquez watched in horror as the containment field fluctuated wildly. Alarms blared as the station's supercomputers struggled to compensate for the growing gravitational anomalies. "It's no use," Amit shouted over the din. "The field's collapsing. We need to evacuate." Elena shook her head, her eyes fixed on the readouts. "We can't. If that wormhole destabilizes completely, it could tear a hole in the fabric of space-time. Half the solar system could be swallowed up." She took a deep breath, steeling herself. "There's only one option left. We have to go in and stabilize it manually." Amit's eyes widened. "That's suicide, Elena. The gravitational forces alone ruled. It's the only way," she cut him off. "I've already inputted the calculations. With the station's gravitic shielding, we might have a chance." As Elena suited up, her mind raced with the implications of what they were about to attempt. If they succeeded, it would be the scientific breakthrough of the millennium. If they failed, well, at least the evacuation pods would give the rest of the station's personnel a fighting chance. With a final nod to her team, Elena stepped into the airlock, ready to face whatever lay on the other side. As the door hissed shut behind her, she couldn't help but wonder. Was this the end of humanity's great leap forward, or just the beginning of an even greater adventure? The fate of Solaris Station, Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy now rested on her shoulders. As she took her first steps towards the swirling vortex of the destabilizing wormhole, Elena Vasquez carried with her the hopes and fears of an entire civilization.